And so I'm inviting us today to make peace with practicing self-care even when people misunderstand our actions. We've got to overcome misunderstood behavior. Because here in the text, in the gospel according to Mark, Jesus is very comfortable with caring for himself even when his actions are misunderstood. Yes, my sisters and brothers, here in the 4th chapter of the gospel according to Mark, we see a story that Mark tells us that uniquely conveys that Jesus was caring for and prioritizing himself even when his actions were misunderstood. Y'all know the story. Jesus had just had a major campaign of preaching and teaching and sharing with people the good news of the kingdom of God. Jesus had been pouring out of himself by making sure that people's lives could be better, but not only what he has been able to share to elevate their consciousness, but by also the miracles that he performed. Jesus, who is now tired after a long day of doing ministry, Jesus, who is experiencing real fatigue and real exhaustion, tells his disciples, let us go to the other side. They secure a boat as a way to go across and use that as their method of transportation. And while they are making their way to the other side, there is a major storm or squall that comes up while they're on their journey. It said, the Bible tells us that while they were on this vessel, they were not by themselves. There were other vessels traveling along with them. As they're on the Sea of Galilee, which this is typical for this particular area or body of water, the experienced fishermen become overwhelmed with what's taking place. And because of their own anxiety, because of their own worry, because of their own panic, they wake Jesus and ask him a question that clearly displays that they misunderstood his behavior. They know where Jesus is. They go to him. They know that he is asleep. But because of the external circumstances, they believe that just because Jesus hasn't moved, just because Jesus hadn't calmed the storm, just because Jesus hadn't put an end to what was going on, that Jesus did not care about them. When they wake Jesus up, they don't ask Jesus to deal with the problem. They ask him a question that infers that he has a lack of care for their condition. This is misunderstood behavior. They misunderstand what was going on with Jesus, but the Bible tells us, my sisters and brothers, it makes it very clear to us that Jesus is tired and exhausted. It makes it clear to us because he separates himself from the crowd that he's been ministering to all day, where he's been pouring out his power. He's been making available his presence. He tells his disciples, let's go to the other side. Jesus uses this moment of travel, this journey to the other side of the Sea of Galilee as an opportunity to be refreshed and restored. And yet, I'm arguing today that his behavior was misunderstood. But what I like about this, my sisters and brothers, is not that Jesus' behavior was misunderstood, but rather he was comfortable with being misunderstood. You do not see Jesus arguing with the disciples. You do not see Jesus trying to prove himself to the disciples. You don't see Jesus apologizing for taking a moment of rest while on this vessel. You don't see Jesus trying to explain what he needed for himself. Jesus, when he is brought back awake, he deals with the problem and then he deals with the disciples. But never does Jesus try to explain himself or advocate for his need for rest. It's in the text. And I say this because oftentimes in our lives, we're often apologizing to folk for taking the time that we need for ourselves. We're apologizing for taking naps. We're apologizing for needing vacations. We're apologizing for taking off of work. We're apologizing for need to step back and take care of ourselves. That we can't do it, or we can't handle this ministry right now. We can't take on that project, or we can't do this. We apologize to folk because we're living in seasons where we don't always have the capacity. But Jesus doesn't apologize. Jesus doesn't make excuses. Jesus doesn't try to pander to their needs. And Jesus sets an example for us that we should be unapologetic about our own self-care.